numerous of times on my channel, they don't want black people to wake up to who they really are. And this is why you got Hebrew Israelite camps, hoteps, and all these other different cults trying to hide your identity. You waking up is fulfilling a prophecy that they don't want to come true. And so this is important for me to make this video again. I came across this article and it was talking about the Jews are descendants of two of the Israelite tribes, Judah and Benjamin, plus a considerable third tribe called the Levites, as I stated before in the past. Now, in this article, they tell you that 10 of the tribes were never called the Jews. Now, pay attention. These northern tribes were historically distant, politically separated from the Jews, their brothers to the south who formed the kingdom of Judah, from which the term Jews derived from. The northern coalitions of tribes, the kingdom, or the house of Israel, as I stated before, had already become an independent nation, separate from the house of Judah, by the word Jew first appears in the biblical narrative. And you get this in the King James Version. It also tells you that Israel was at war with the Jews in 2 Kings. Now I want you to pay attention to this, because you're about to see. Now before I get into this, I came across this verse of the day from Jeremiah 17 and 7 through 8. Blessed is the man who trusts in Yahweh and whose confidence is in Yahweh. For he will be a tree planted by the waters, who spreads out its roots by the river, and will not fear when heat comes, but its leaves will be green and will not be concerned in the year of drought. It won't cease from yielding fruit. All praises. So we're going to go to 2 Kings 16, 5 through 6. All right. So this is when Jews first appeared in the Old Testament. Now, nowhere in this book does Yahweh ever refer to Judah as the Jews. This is the first time Jews appeared in the book. And it reads, at the time the raising king of Syria recovered Aleph to Syria. For those who don't know what Aleph is, that is Edom. That is the city where Edom lived, or who we call Esau, to Syria, and drove the Jews from Eleph. And the Syrians came to Eleph and lived there to this day. All right. So Yahweh isn't calling us the Jews right here. I want you to understand this. If you keep reading, he refers to us as Israel or Judah. All right. As you can see, this is a map. This is northern Israel. This is the northern kingdom. Judah is all the way down here. The map you see today is not a real map of Israel, or what we call Judah. They changed the name to deceive you. Now, how did this all start? Let's go to 2 Samuel 7. This is a covenant that Yahweh made with King David. Yahweh is a covenant-keeping God. So when Yahweh makes a deal with our ancestors, he keeps that deal. And he keeps it going from generations to come. So still to this day, we are blessed. And this is going all the way back to Abraham. Y'all following me? Before I get further into this, I want y'all to notice as well. You always hear the term, we are Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Israelites is not a real fucking name. Nowhere in any Bible, because I read all these different Bibles. And right here, this is the Lexion Bible. Nowhere in any of these Bibles does God call us Hebrew Israelites. That come from these cults. You got to understand that Hebrews is not just the children of Israel. All right? Because Jacob wasn't even an Israelite. We became, quote, Israelites because Yahweh changed Jacob's name to Israel. Jacob was an Armenian. he came from the Syrian lineage. Those were Hebrew people. You following what I'm saying? So let's keep going. So Yahweh makes a deal with King David, and I'm gonna start off at 13. He will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be a father to him, and he will be a son for me, who I will punish when he does wrong, with a rod of man and with blows of human beings. But my loyal shall not depart from him, as I took it from Saul, who I removed from before you. Your house and your kingdom shall endure forever before you. Your throne shall be established forever. So this is Yahweh making a deal with King David, saying like, look, you my begotten son, you are my servant. Your kingdom shall dwell forever. So your lineage, I'm going to bless your lineage forever. All right? And that will be Judah today, because King David is our great grandfather. King David had a lot of kids and they repopulated it. So that's our great grandfather that Yahweh made a deal with. Let's keep going. So in First Kings 11 and 9, it talks about how the kingdom split. All right. Solomon, which was the son of King David, he started worshiping false gods, other gods, and didn't keep the commandment that Yahweh made with him. All right. So Yahweh took away from him 10 tribes, but only gave him one because of the covenant he made with his father back in 2 Samuel. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. Therefore Yahweh said to Solomon, because this is done by you, that you have not kept my commandments, my statutes, which I have commanded you, I will surely tear the kingdom from you, and will give it to your servant. Nevertheless, I will not do it in your days, for David your father's sake. So this is a promise that Yahweh made to King David. But I will tear it out of your son's hand. However, I will not tear away all the kingdoms, but I will give one tribe to your son, for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. So this is him speaking to Solomon. Solomon's son, right, is Rehoboam. So I'm gonna get into that. So in First Kings, Solomon, general Jeroboam, right, he met the prophet, and so Yahweh told Jeroboam, take 10 pieces for Yahweh, the God of Israel, says, behold, I will tear the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon and give you 10 tribes. So Yahweh took 10 tribes away from, my bad. Yahweh took 10 tribes out of Solomon's hand and gave it to Jeroboam, and gave Solomon's son, right, who we call Rehoboam, one of the tribes. Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in his father's David's city, and Rehoboam his son reigned in his place. When it means slept with his father, that means he went to the underworld with his ancestors, with his fathers. So that's what God is saying, that he went to the underworld with the ancestors. Let's keep going. All right. Now, I want to show y'all this. This is the World English Bible, and this is the New International Version Bible. When you read a lot of these Bibles, they take certain shit out to have you confused. But it's not hard to figure out if you put your mind to it like I did. So, in the World English Bible, which I use a lot, they called the Israelites the children of Israel. This is important because, as I stated before on my community page, when it comes to these cults, they would say like, yo, we the children of Israel, you know what I'm saying? or we come from Israel. That's a tricky word. They craftsmen. You gotta understand that these people, these Hebrew Israelite camps, they masons. They craftsmen, so they crafty. They worship the serpent, so they know how to use certain words to confuse you. All right. And when you say the children of Israel, a motherfucker might think like, oh, you mean like, yo, we the descendants of Jacob, which is true, but understand that this war that's going on really has to do with King David's children, his grandchildren, which is Judah. Remember, the Lord scattered only Judah four corners of the earth, not the Israelites. Y'all following what I'm saying? So, in the World English Bible, they took it out, but they put it in the New International Version. And it says the Israelites secretly did things that was against the Lord. See, they took Yahweh name out of it. Their God that were not right. So I already read this story to y'all before how Yahweh got rid of the Israelites because they were doing wicked things. They were sinning. They sinned. And he talked about how Judah was following after the Israelites after he told Judah not to follow after them. Is this all making sense to y'all? Now to wrap this up, we can go to Israel 1 and 2. Listen, these names is crazy, y'all. I'm just keeping it 100. So when Judah was following after the Israelites and committed a sin, right? We got took into Babylon captivity. Now, when it comes to these Hebrew Israelite camps, people got to understand where the fall of Babylon happened. The fall of Babylon happened because of the Persian Empire. Cyrus, he was the anointed one. He the one that freed us from Babylon captivity. He's the one who said we can go back and build the temple in Jerusalem. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. Cyrus, king of Persia, says, Yahweh, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth and has commanded me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. God, I told y'all, God is very intelligent. He purposely put which is in Judah for a reason. Because if we look at the map today, the modern map, they would tell you that Jerusalem is in Israel, which it is not. It is in Judah. That's why the Lord purposely put this in the Bible. All right. So when you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite or say that, we are the children of Yisrael or Israel, you look stupid. You are the children of Judah. You are the grandchildren of King David. Yahweh made a covenant with our grandfather. And so our story is continuing. That's the whole point. Jerusalem was the capital where we went to worship Yahweh, our God. With that being said, I hope this all makes sense to y'all. I want to give all praises and glory to the Most High Yahweh. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'm out.